So good morning all. My name is Tom again, and in this webcast on Oracle Cloud, I'm going to show you how to troubleshoot an application using the tools that are available in Oracle Cloud itself. I do want to point out that this webcast is a live presentation of an Oracle by example or an OBE tutorial using with the same name, troubleshooting applications in Oracle Cloud using OEPE. I'll paste the URL to that tutorial into the chat window. And in that case, if you'd like to take a look at what I'm presenting and follow along that way, you can as well. Or you can look at it later. This is the standard Oracle Safe Harbor notice. Basically what it states is that this webcast does not imply a contract between you and I. And what I'm presenting today should not be used to make any purchasing decisions. Okay, so moving on to the webcast. In order to get the most out of it, I assume that all of you have some experience with Eclipse IDE. But if you don't, that's okay. And ideally, you also have some experience with ADF and Java Enterprise Edition. But if you don't, that's okay. What I'll show you today will help you get a feel for Eclipse as an IDE, help you get a feel for how it interacts with Oracle Cloud, and so on. So in this webcast, I have installed Oracle Enterprise Pack for Eclipse, version 12.1.1.2. This is a very specific version number. This version is specifically designed for use with Oracle Cloud. And to develop applications with the Oracle Java Cloud Service, you also need to install a software development kit, as you can see on the list, the SDK. And all of the software that I have on this slide, these pieces of software are all available to developers for free under a developer license. So you can use these products to learn, at no charge at all. And I see Gary has a couple of poll questions that he started in the window. If you take a minute to answer those. So what we're going to talk about today is a cloud. We're specifically going to look at Oracle Cloud. And I assume that by now you've heard the term cloud. It really has become a standard part of many companies' product offerings. Now, clouds come in three different flavors. So first of all, there is infrastructure as a service. There is platform as a service. And finally, there is software as a service. And the graphic here basically describes the relative functionality of each type of cloud. Each bubble relatively shows you how much technology is provided as a service level for that cloud. An example of each of these is as follows. So infrastructure as a service, a good example of an infrastructure as a service or an IaaS cloud is Amazon's EC2. Amazon provides virtualized components that you can work with. On these components, you install your own application servers, databases, or use whatever Amazon provides to you. At the far end of the spectrum, at the far right, software as a service, that's really Salesforce, which is an example of a software as a service provider. Salesforce provides a complete development environment rich with tools to create a customer relationship CRM software. Now, with that, of course, comes a penalty in that that's the only type of software that you are provided, or the only type of software that you can develop with Salesforce. What we're going to look at today is what's in the middle. It's a platform as a service, and Oracle Cloud specifically is a platform as a service. As a platform as a service, it provides specific implementations of database, application server, identity management, web services, support for integration tools. And you write whatever applications you wish onto that platform and then deploy it and run it in the cloud service. As I mentioned, the identity service also provides tools to help you manage application security. And the result is you can create an application that then is deployed to or can be run as a web application, can be run on a mobile device, could be run internally in an office, and can even be an application that supports another cloud. I mentioned a few slides ago that the software that we're using today is the Oracle Enterprise Pack for Eclipse. This is a implementation of Eclipse 3.8, the Juno version, integrated with WebLogic Server, with Oracle Cloud, and it supports ADF as well. And what I put up here is a picture of the download page. You notice that there are two install types. The one that you're interested in is on the right here, the OEPE 12c plus WebLogic Server 10.3.6 and ADF 11.1.1.6. Lots of numbers, but the point is that this is the version you want to use with this tutorial and to support Oracle Cloud. So what we're going to do in this webcast is a couple of things. I'm going to show you basically the notion of what happens when you've written an application or someone has written an application designed to be deployed to the Oracle Java Cloud Service. How do you, as potentially an administrator of that cloud service, how do you determine whether or not this application is legitimate, is capable of running, and how do you troubleshoot it when there are problems with that application? So I'm going to show you this very simple visitors application. There's a picture of it here in the slide. We're going to go through the process of whitelist scanning this application, looking to see if the application supports all of the whitelisted or supported features of Oracle Cloud, and if it doesn't, you know, to throw an error in which service or which part of the code is creating a problem. Then we're going to deploy this application to the Java service and see if it has any problems, and then we'll use the Cloud Services Control Console to actually debug and solve those problems. So why don't we go ahead and get started into the demo. So what I'm going to do here is share my desktop. Let's start with Eclipse. So I have Eclipse open. Again, this is the Oracle Enterprise Pack for Eclipse. This is running on my laptop locally. But you can see down here in the servers that I have an instance of Oracle Cloud. It's connected, it's running. Actually, there's some applications that are deployed there too, because this is a shared version of this cloud trial service that I'm using. I also have a local instance of Oracle WebLogic Server. This is something that as a developer you would use to create applications and test them locally before deploying them to Oracle Cloud. So what I want to do is, again, the problem domain here is I have an application that someone has set on they would like to deploy to cloud, and I need to go through the process of making sure that it can be deployed and then fixing it if there's any problems. So I'm going to start by importing a web archive that contains a project. I'm going to use this one here, the Visitors Web Archive. My target runtime is Oracle Cloud. I'm interested in actually deploying this against the cloud. I'll say Finish. And it will load it into Eclipse. Before I do anything with this application, before I actually run it though, what I'd like to do is to make sure that there are no whitelist errors, no whitelist problems. A whitelist scan is a check to see if this application meets the list of services and technologies that make sense in the context of the cloud itself. Any method invocations or any problems with the XML files will be flagged with a warning or an error. As an example, the Oracle Java Cloud Service does not allow applications to make network connections, or execute new processes, or open direct SQL connections, or execute new processes, or invoke native applications. None of these things would make sense in the context of a cloud. None of these things would make sense because you have an application that's running in a container that is part of a cloud service. So these types of method invocations and executions are flagged as errors before an application is loaded, and an application with errors will not be allowed to run. So let's go ahead and check this one, the visitors application. And what I'm doing here is I'm actually going to run the Oracle Cloud whitelist scan directly against this WAR file. And this one is fine. Content validation completed successfully. I have no whitelist errors at all. In fact, let me open up the whitelist problems window just to show that this one is clean. Now, what would happen if you had one that wasn't clean? Let's actually go through that process. Let me open up one that I have. Let me open up a WAR file, or import a WAR file that I have artificially injected with some issues. I'm going to open up this file appropriately named cloud whitelist error.war. Now notice that when it loads, okay, it's going to come in. This is a perfectly legitimate piece of software from Java's point of view. Just going through the process of reading it. Okay, it does have some, I think there are some issues with the XML files, but this code would compile and theoretically would run. But if I run the whitelist scan on this particular WAR file, I can see that I have problems. And specifically, I have some errors. I have some failures. Now, I can go in and take a look specifically at the errors by opening up the marker on those errors, and I can see there's a number of warnings. It says there's 33 warnings discovered for this piece of software. Some of them are just warnings. For example, I have some issues, like I said, with my XML files. But specifically, I also have some issues because I'm attempting to use an API that's not supported. I'm attempting to use the javax.mail API. And a little further down, scroll down a little bit, I think you'll see the error that I actually injected besides just using a mail API. I actually attempted to open a socket connection in one of the servlets that's part of this WAR file. See if I can find it here. At any rate, I won't go through the whole thing, but trust me that there is a specific error that I've injected into this piece of code. So that's not one that I want to run on the cloud. So go ahead and close that. So instead, let's go through the process now of actually deploying and running this visitors application, which we whitelist scanned a minute ago, and it worked fine. So I'm going to right-click on this application. I'm going to say Run As, and a Run on Server. So I already selected to choose Oracle Cloud. I'll say Finish. And we'll go through the process of attempting to install this application, publish it to Oracle Cloud. Down the bottom here in my screen, hopefully you can see this. It says Publishing to Oracle Cloud. We're at 27%. To get that out of the way. Look in the console. Okay, I don't have the console yet. We're publishing to Oracle Cloud. It's still at 27%. In just a moment, once it's completed, it will automatically open up the browser that I've selected for Eclipse. In this case, the browser and I've chosen is Chrome. So Chrome will open up. There we go. And ask me to sign in to my Oracle Cloud account in order to run this application. So let me go ahead and do that. Okay, starts with a splash screen that says click Start to enter into the visitor's application. I'll do that. I should have mentioned on the previous screen, this application does use a Java Persistence API to store all the visitors that are using this Plymouth Aquarium application. So all the visitors that come here to this Plymouth Aquarium, they'll enter their data and they'll be stored in the database. But hopefully you can see down the bottom here, let me grab my annotation tools to make it clear, I have a problem. Oh, that's not the right color. I have a problem with this application. It's telling me that there was an error that occurred when this application tried to run. So an unexpected error happened, please contact the systems administrator. So this application produced some type of fault at runtime. So let's take a look at why that happened. Let's go back to OEPE. And what I want to do is I want to open up the Oracle Java Cloud Service Control Console. I could do it from my web browser, but I can also do it here from within OEPE. This is one of the advantages of using an IDE. So I'm going to right-click on the Oracle Cloud connection, and what I'm looking for is the Java Service Control. So again, I'm going back to the web page because I'd already logged in to look at that application. I come right into the Java Cloud Service Control for my cloud service account. And you can see that my visitors application has been deployed. It's up. It appears to be running and active. It had one active, still has one active session, the one that I opened previously. But as we saw, there was a problem with this application. So let's go look at the log messages and see if we can see what happened. Okay, so I got an error when I attempted to run this application. Let's take a look at that error. Let's pull up. Let's expand this so I can see it. Oh, sorry, let me select this and expand this so I can see it. So what's happened here in the log, and this is just like if you were running it locally, I have a problem right here. It says that it's unable to resolve add your user database service name in persistence.xml. Well, that was nice. The person who wrote this application gave me a hint as to what they needed me to do before I deployed it. Fortunately, I didn't do that before I deployed it. So let's go look at the application and see if I can figure out what it's looking for. And what happened to OEPE? Okay, let's restart. My IDE. I'm not sure what happened to it, but I don't see it any longer in the bottom. Okay. Oh, maybe it's just running here. No. Okay, one moment, please. I already have a log file on it, so let's use the other one. The beauty of doing a live demo. Okay, so we open up again. Should still have my servers. I do. The only problem is I lost my project, so I'll just import that again. That's okay. Okay, let's open up that project. All right, let's do this one more time. Apologies for the delay. Not sure why my ID crashed. Doesn't happen often. All right. Okay, let's try this again. Import that WAR file for the third time. Okay, let's add, oh, well, you get to see the whole process. I'm going to go through the process now of adding the Oracle Cloud as a service. All right. Okay. So now let's configure this to target the Oracle Cloud as the runtime. All right. And now let's go ahead and make that fix that we needed. Remember there was a problem in the persistence.xml. That happens to be here in the meta information file for the source. I'm going to open up that file. Let's close some of these windows that I don't need. And here's the issue. I see that I have a JTA data source that has a name that's meant to be filled in later. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to change this add your database service name in persistence.xml to the correct name for our service name. For the database service name, the correct JTA data source is database. So I simply make that change. I'll save this file, and now I'll go ahead and redeploy this again to the cloud. Say finish. Again, we're going to go through the process of deploying it to the cloud. And okay, in this case, I opened up in a new window because I didn't set the browser for this one. So what I'm going to do is let's go back to our original application here and simply reload this. Okay, so now this application, because it's correctly using the database, started and ran appropriately, and now we can actually put in values. I'm going to put in my name and say this is cool, and add that. And so now I appear as a visitor in the database with my comment. So here we went through the process of taking an application that had a problem, fixing the problem using the debugging tools in the Java Service Console, making the changes in our code, redeploying it, and finding out that it worked just fine. So returning to the slides here then, some next steps for all of you. I would certainly take a look at the the Oracle Learning Library. Take a look at all of the various tutorials we offer there. They're all free. We have a number on Oracle Cloud, including using Oracle Cloud to do development with NetBeans IDE, Eclipse, as I just showed you today, but also with JDeveloper. And finally, I think that's it, right? I think we're at the end here, so I think we can take some questions if there are any.
Yeah, Tom, I'm going to put up another 2 polls.
Oh, yes, please. Thank you, Gary.
And then I'm also going to look through our chat and Q&A, see if we have any questions out there. And I don't see any questions on chat or on Q&A. So we'll just do the poll for another few seconds here, another 15 seconds or so. So each of you should be able to answer questions on those pop-up polls. Helps us better understand the audience. Okay, and one more poll coming up. I'll close this one. That's just asking you about OLL. So this one's going to close in about 10 seconds. All right, thanks. And here's the last one, just trying to find out how you found out about OLL. So take a minute or so and just click your answer there. And in the meantime, I'll check chat again, Tom. Yeah. Okay, no questions. And we'll give this just another minute or so to finish up. So this brings us to the end of the talk. And if you have any questions that you haven't asked, feel free to pop them in the chat. And Tom will pick them up and answer them right now. If you're interested in playing back this webcast, maybe you want to watch it or somebody else in your organization, then you can access it as well as other free content directly from OLL. Just search on the name of this presentation and you'll find the recording as well as the OBE that Tom did this from. All right. Well, that brings us to the end of the webcast for today. So many thanks to each of you for attending. Let us know if you have any questions. And otherwise, wishing you a good day and look forward to seeing you on the next OLL Live webcast.